Alright, so boom, we got 10 WWE wrestlers who went off script and got way too real. That's right, I'm hanging out with my flock here on Twitch today, and you know what? We're cawing. We're flocking. You know how this goes. If you like to support the original creator of the content, click the top link in the description if you want to be one of the cool crows hanging out with us on Twitch. Well, click the bottom link. Also got a free Patreon with free bonus content that you don't gotta pay for that I can't react to on YouTube. Cause of copyright goblins. I'm looking at you. You know which one of you YouTubers I'm looking at. I'm looking at you. With that being said, let's get right into the video.
1, 2, is this on?
Wrestling can often be at its best when it's real, like when promos and storylines are built around the wrestlers' real lives.
You're gonna be just like you are outside of the ring. Alone. What is that record? 0-3? Woo! Hey, Tiffany, is that why Kaiser's in my DMs?
Or when you can clearly tell the talent isn't following a script.
If you, Kevin Nash, don't live up to expectations, you could be joining the unemployment line with your buddy Scott Hall.
They might be having fun or speaking emotionally from the heart. We'll be covering a mix of examples today, ranging from segments that went off script,
Big Daddy called The Rock's ass more like Big Daddy bitch.
This is going to get completely out of hand.
We're in a position where we're not allowed to say anything really derogatory. They just said, "Oh, Big Daddy bitch." He went, bah, bah.
to ones where the content was
Yeah. Why can I always find a fucking random Kevin Nash clip where he's reacting to some shit like, No, I thought about that the other day. It's kind of messed up, man. Also, I just saw Paul Heyman in the ECW hat. We got an ECW documentary reaction on Patreon. It's like 2 hours long. Check it out.
grounded in reality.
Your own sons don't call themselves Waller. Why? Why? Because they're ashamed of your ass.
Today, we list 10 WWE promos that got way too real. When Roddy Piper returned to WWE in 2003, he was immediately paired with Vince McMahon, two men who have had a love-hate relationship over the years. They squared off against each other during a Piper's Pit segment on the April 10th SmackDown. The promo began with McMahon insulting and trying to humiliate Roddy.
It's almost like he was trying to take over Piper's and kill that thing up.
The last time I saw Billy that size, Mae Young was 9 months pregnant. And she had a hand.
Oh,
Looks like
man.
you're working on twins.
Hot Rod struck back by listing off McMahon's failed business ventures.
First thing you did was become a rock and roll promoter, and you went what? Broke. There was the Bodybuilding Federation. Oh, it was a good one.
Oh, man.
XFL, was that it? Oh, that was a big one.
Nah, Piper had some heat for her. Piper had some heat for him. Ooh, he had ammo. You fucked at the wrong one. There's said fat jokes got you cut through it.
The only job you've been able to hold is the one your daddy gave you.
Vince then got called the name he has legitimately despised his whole life.
Junior.
Former WWE head writer Brian Gerwitz revealed in his book that this segment was mostly done on the fly, with only a brief outline of where Piper and McMahon were going to go with it. Both men were ultimately happy with the promo following its conclusion.
He didn't like
Gerwitz
that.
did, however, reveal that Vince was furious at Piper for going off script and swearing at WrestleMania 21 2 years later.
Who is the biggest rebel in the history of the WWE? Bullshit.
Every time Piper would drop back into WWE, he'd always cut one hell of a promo.
Man.
Another memorable one came on the February 16, 2009 episode of Raw, in the build-up to WrestleMania 25, where Roddy would be one of 3 legends to battle Chris Jericho. By this point, the WWE kept trying to give Hot Rod scripts for his promos, only to get upset when he went off track. Realizing this, Chris told Roddy to throw the script out of the window, so they could go out and cut their own promos.
And I said to Roddy before, I said, Roddy, don't worry about the script, just be Roddy Piper, the greatest promo of all time.
This feud came off the back of the movie The Wrestler, as Jericho scolded the old WWF legends from the past, still hanging on to past glories, just like Mickey Rourke's Randy the Ram character in the film.
All of the washed up, has-been losers who are holding on, leeching off this business, begging for one last run at success.
Piper responded with an impassioned promo. He stuck up for the movie and how it mirrored so many wrestlers' real-life struggles.
The movie is not about a bunch of old-timers that want another run. The movie is about the pain, physically and emotionally. And most of all, why we do what we do? For the thrill of performing.
Roddy reflected on some of his greatest moments, including the previous year where he returned for
I
the
wasn't
Royal
gonna say
Rumble,
nothing
and how
about the
thrill was
irony
still
there, but
24,000 people jumped to their feet in just for 1 second, Chris. I felt like I was back in the first WrestleMania.
Hot Rod finished by saying how despite the pain, he still goes out there for the roar of the crowd.
I have one hip and I hurt all the time. But as long as these folks here say so, I will crawl down here on my hands and knees to give them one more memorable moment, because old school's cool.
What a way to close out such an incredible emotional promo. It still gives us goosebumps watching it back today. Paul Heyman is famous for his various shoot promos and incorporating real-life drama into the show. One such example saw him come at Jerry the King Lawler during an in-ring debate on the March 10th, 1997 edition of Raw. Jerry kept throwing insults at Heyman and ECW.
You never earned anything in your life. You're a 35-year-old man who still lives with his mother and father. Huh? If it wasn't for your mom and dad who financed this bunch of crap, you wouldn't be anything. You understand that?
So Paulie dangerously fired back, mentioning a case from 1993
Oh,
where Lawler
man.
was charged with violating a 13-year-old girl in Louisville, Kentucky.
wow, whoa, flashback, whoa, whoa, I did not know about that. Are we dead at? Heyman just shot off the hip like that? Yo, where were they at?
Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm shooting with you. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing at the Seesaws in Louisville, Jerry? Huh?
Heyman also brought up how Jerry's sons didn't use the Lawler name while wrestling.
Your own sons don't call themselves Why? Why? Because they're ashamed of your ass.
Paul took a shot at King again years later during the roast of WrestleMania in 2025. Heyman roasted host Tony Hinchcliffe for looking like a 12-year-old, before then taking aim at Lawler.
My kids are 12-year-olds, and to be honest with you, if you look around sometimes, they're probably the smartest people in the room. Let's be nice to the 12-year-olds. One of them is getting married here down the road later to Jerry the King Lawler.
Charlotte Flair's feud with Tiffany Stratton going into WrestleMania 41 will be remembered for Charlotte being heavily booed each week.
Oh no, I'm sorry, they're booing so loud. What would you come, guys? What would you like me to say?
With the most famous prominent example being on the April 4th, 2025 SmackDown in Chicago. After being paid with boos from the crowd, the Queen began to go off script by making fun of Tiffany's voice.
And you may be the queen.
Ain't that
inside
shorty
of the
30?
ring,
She
but
couldn't
outside
handle
of
it, man.
Outside of the ring.
She couldn't
You ain't the
handle
queen.
it, man.
What are you saying? I can't hear you, Timmy. It's so squeaky.
Nah, Shy Joe. The secondhand cringe I'm getting from here, this shouldn't get. Yo, Charlotte, nah, mama, you lost. You lost crazy. You lost crazy. Yeah, that's rough. That's a yike. That's a yike. And bro, we had to make that shit a emote. Hey, if you got the crow, let me see it. Let me see that Charlotte face. This is Charlotte's in the chat. Stuff. Why did we have an instance of her looking directly at the camera like that? Oh my.
I can't hear you. Oh my God. What are you saying, Timmy?
Stratton replied with an off-script line of her own
Nah,
by
you
bringing up
ain't
Charlotte's
doing
3
nothing.
divorces.
And when I beat you at WrestleMania, Charlotte, you're gonna be just like you are outside of the ring. Alone. What is that record? 0-3? Woo!
Flair hit back with a Conor McGregor-style
Oh
insult relating
my
to Tiffany's
goodness.
boyfriend, Ludwig Kaiser.
Your wife is in me DMs, hey baby, hit me back on my chat you later on. We'll be on the party, the way
Your
I
wife is in me DMs.
Is that why Kaiser's in my DMs?
Honey, you lost. She left already. She left already. You did nothing you say matters. She dropped the mic and everything. Wade Barrett is like, oh. Wade is like, oh. Man, go me skates. Ah, that ain't real. He not even in the DMs. That's not real.
In modern times, we all know about Cody Rhodes finishing his story, where he became the WWE champion as a labor of love to his late
Cody
father,
Rhodes?
Dusty, who never got to officially hold the Federation's title. Terry Funk's iconic Our Way promo in Extreme Championship Wrestling spoke of a similar goal. Terry's father, Dory Funk Sr., never got to be world champion, despite it being a dream of his up until he passed away at age 54 in 1973.
That was what he wanted to do all of his life. He wanted to be the world's champion. It never happened. The reason it didn't happen because in 1973, June of that year, my father had a massive heart attack while he was wrestling.
By January
Yo,
1997, Terry
Jim,
was
I'm
already a
saying,
former NWA
like,
and
Shawn Michaels
ECW
is hoarding
champion, but
all
the
the
52-year-old
all
wanted
the
to win
wrestlers with
ECW
wagons.
title one more time before he retired, ahead of the promotion's very first pay-per-view, Barely Legal.
Now, 24 years later, here I am. I guess I'm a dreamer too. I want to be world's champion.
But Terry wasn't going to just do it for his father. Funk also wanted to do it for the ECW fans, who welcomed him with open arms and helped revitalize his career.
I want to do it for all you hardcore fans out there. I want to do it for all of us old farts. But most of all, I want to do it to fulfill my father's dreams.
And for the underground company that was revolutionizing the entire wrestling industry in such an organic and authentic way.
Not like the WWE. Not like the WCW.
With tears in his eyes, Funk imagined what would happen if he won the ECW title, where it would be Terry and the fans with their arms in the air saying, "We did it our way." It's hard not to get chills watching this promo back.
I don't want to stand out there and say I did it my way. We did it our way because we love it that way.
And it was made all the more sweet when Funk won the ECW championship at Barely Legal 3 months later. What a way to finish the story.
Alright. Cool moment and all, but this referee dramatic as shit. Yo, what the fuck with it? Yo, why's the referee again? Why's the referee? What was that? My man dramatic as hell, bro. That just got me irritated, low-key. Watch bro right here.
When Funk won the ECW championship at Barely Legal 3 months later.
What's good with you? What the fuck was that? Bitch, did you die? Like, the fuck? My man had no HP. Like,
What a way to finish the story.
Has done what we all thought was damn near impossible.
The NWO's return in 2002 didn't meet expectations, especially when it came to how they were booked, and by the summer of that year they were almost toast. One of their final blows came courtesy of the chairman, as Vince called out the group's performance thus far on the June 24th Raw. During his infamous Ruthless Aggression promo, McMahon mentioned Scott Hall's recent firing, while also throwing shade at the injured Kevin Nash. Nash wasn't aware what Vince was going to say, so naturally responded in kind.
If you, Kevin Nash, don't live up to expectations, you could be joining the
Dude, how are
unemployment
you? What's
line
going on?
with
How
your
you
buddy
doing?
Scott Hall.
Yo, Vince, man. He be testing you gangster. I'm surprised there weren't many ass whoopings, said Vince. Like, your pride gotta get at least a couple of jabs in on him. You know what I mean? Like, yo, fuck it, we can handle this in the locker room, bro.
Head writer Brian Gewirtz would later reveal that McMahon began to tighten up the layout for segments that bit more following this promo. That's because the boss wasn't happy about the unscripted gesture and wouldn't have approved it otherwise.
Was Kevin's brilliant finger gesture a shoot or a work?
A shoot.
Nash, on the other hand, wasn't happy with how the New World Order had come into WWF, especially on their first night when The Rock made fun of them, highlighting the group's past characters in the Federation.
You, Chico, Razor Ramon, Big Daddy Cool, Diesel.
Nash felt this took away from the NWO's heat, even though they'd get their revenge on the People's Champ the next day on Raw. It was a similar story the night after WrestleMania 18, when the Great One hit Kevin with an unscripted line.
Big Daddy Cool The Rock's ass more like Big Daddy Bitch.
You ever been, I don't know if some of you guys are like, you know, overseas or like European in nature. I don't even know if this type of culture existed in schools over there for y'all. But you know, sometimes there's a little back and forth that takes place where two participants are definitely throwing jabs, throwing barbs, right? And there's a crowd, and you get hit with a ooh or a ah. You know, even if it's like, you know, 3 people, that shit kind of stings. Even if it's like 5 people, that shit kind of stings. Could you imagine being in an arena? School of thousands of people just, ooh, we called you a bitch. Hey, yo, fight me. Fight me right now. Fight me.
We're in a position where we're not allowed to say anything really derogatory. They just said, "Oh, Big Daddy Bitch." He went, bah, bah.
Nash felt the line was unprofessional and even responded during a match with Rock later in the week on SmackDown.
Oh my God! You heard Kevin Nash referring to what The Rock called him on Raw Monday night.
In his book, Brian Gewirtz also spoke about how the famous promo featuring The Rock, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 30 was scripted very loosely in fear of anything leaking, since Rock and Austin hadn't been advertised for Mania. Gewirtz said that Hogan was only told about his part and didn't know when Rock and Austin would interrupt him, nor what they would say or who out of the two would come out first. The Hulkster was simply told to go with the flow when Rock and Steve appeared, and then hit his catchphrases at the end.
And you never know when one of those special moments.
Hulk ended up botching one of his lines.
WrestleMania 30, right here in the Silverdome. I can't believe I'm the special host. I'm sorry, it is the Superdome, brothers.
Which The Rock and Austin both later made fun of.
You are here in the Superdome, without a doubt. It's good to be back here at the Silverdome. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the immortal Hulk Hogan have finally come back to the Superdome.
The Hulkster even made light of his botch while wrapping up one of the all-time WrestleMania segments.
What you gonna do, brothers, when Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 30, and the Superdome run wild on you, brother?
Let's now highlight some more times when The Rock
he
went
was
off script
bad
with
as
his promos.
The Rock says this. Oh, it matters what The Rock says.
You took the time to make a little sign. What does your sign say anyway? It doesn't matter what your sign says!
Look, now don't give The Rock the finger. There's a big fat bald dude here giving The Rock the finger. Get a shot of him. Get a shot of him. He's drunk. You're drunk. Sit down. Y'all got some good weed here in Anaheim.
I have a nerve to really cut the bro.
How about the time Rock spoke to cosplayers in the front row after hearing the crowd chant Randy Savage as one of the fans dressed up as Macho Man?
This is the time where we go off the script. What's your name? It's brother. The weed is good in Miami tonight, obviously.
Or who could forget in 2001 when Stephanie McMahon was supposed to cut Rock off but was late in doing so. This meant the Great One had no choice but to go ahead and swear when he wasn't supposed to, which infuriated Vince backstage.
Booker T and Shane, the punk ass sucker, and the silver spoon motherfucker.
The Rock's appearances on Raw and NXT.
Why you said it like that? Why you said it like that? That could almost pass as not even saying it, to be honest. You didn't trip the censors. You didn't trip the censors, bro. No? Midget sensitive, if you ask me. Nope. He's safe.
NXT at the start of 2025 didn't have much of a script, which was clear based on each of the promos he cut. That's because the final boss can pretty much do or say whatever he wants without any consequences.
Show is over and then it stops? That! There's nothing that the final boss can't say.
You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
Haven't talked about our family again. Slap his
That's
teeth out.
great.
Oh. Don't around and get me emotional up in this thing. I'm not.
You better be paying them fees, them fines, bro. FCC looking at them like, hey man. Yo, whoa, what the fuck, bro? Whoa.
What's gonna happen? I love you too, honey. Thank you for saying that. You sound like somebody The Rock can love, drunk and horny, so tell Mama Rhodes The Rock said hello. They say we got 2 minutes. I'm like, we're gonna go all night. I'm sorry for the language. I apologize.
Randy Orton's work was one of the bright sparks during the period WWE ran shows from the Performance Center. His segment with Ric Flair on the August 10th Monday Night Raw was a memorable one, where both men talked about real-life dramas while also going off script. Orton's promo shunning Flair had to be edited down by a few minutes.
The Ric Flair that I looked up to wouldn't have slipped into a coma. Wouldn't need a pacemaker. You are a junkie for the...
Randall. Randall. Cute. Let's video. Whoa, my God.
Spotlight.
Meanwhile, the Nature Boy wasn't supposed to speak at all, but rather just stand there and take his scolding, as Randy labeled Nature's weak.
He was just supposed to say a few things under his breath that the handheld camera in the ring may or may not have picked up. When he grabbed the mic, I was thinking, oh, come on, Rick. You're not supposed to grab the mic. And then he went on to cut that promo.
Instead of getting mad, Flair praised Orton.
I'm here because I do want your approval and I do want to be with you. I want you to break my record, not John Cena's record, my record.
Rick couldn't get angry because he knew how lucky he was to still be alive after the health issues he went through a few years earlier.
After 31 days of being in intensive care and being in a coma for 12 of them, I woke up and all I wanted in life was to tell the people who I hadn't told that I loved them.
It was a touching promo and one of the best seen on WWE TV that year.
I called around everybody that mattered to me, because you have to be this close to where I was to know what that feeling is.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out
And they ended that shit on like a super serious, sad one. Damn. I want to hear that promo now in its entirety. What the fuck? Sheesh. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you want to support the original upload of the content, click the top link in that description. You can find the rest of their videos there. They make great stuff. You just want to hang out with me and the beautiful flock here live on Twitch. Yes, live. Click the bottom link. We react to the contest sometimes. Low-key, sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. Also got a free bonus Patreon with free additional content that's updated every day. Even when I'm not uploading it on YouTube, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything for the free content that goes up there. You might want to check it out. It's free. I'm not scamming you. It's free. That being said, I'll see you in the next video, unless you weird. Thank you so much to those of you that have made it over to the Patreon. I appreciate you.
I'm still hungry.